Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Rich Salad Show. We're seeing how this goes. Let us know what you think. If you saw episode 1, if you haven't, be sure to check it out. We got plenty of clips on the channel. We got shorts there as well. Yeah, we are going into episode 2 right now. David, how you feeling?
I'm excited. I had lots of fun last week discussing some upcoming shows and movies. So this week, really looking forward to the slate of topics we got. Can't wait to discuss.
So I'm going to run down kind of all of our stuff we got going on. So we're first going to be talking about Bugonia, the movie from Yorgos Lanthimos with Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons. Next, we're going into Welcome to Derry, a return to horror. With this year, there's been a lot of great horror, so we're diving into that. Next, we're going into my top picks of films for the month of November since we just began. So I figured it'd be a great time to talk about that. Next, we're going into AI a little bit. Might get a little spicy in there. Who knows? Guillermo Del Toro was talking about AI since he just put out Frankenstein. So we're going to talk about that. Next, we are getting into Jack Quaid, who is the son of Dennis Quaid, and he was just in a lot of films this year. So is this the year of Jack Quaid? We'll see. Next, we're going into Wicked, talking about everything Wicked. We will get Wicked. Who knows? Let's dive in to our very first topic, which is this Bugonia. Next. Now, I saw this film last night. I actually put out a little review, a little short review on my first thoughts coming out of the theater. So let's talk about what it is being rated critically right now. So right now it's with 86% critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes and 85% on the audience rating. Overall, that's a pretty solid, pretty great numbers for reviews, and it sounds like it's getting good reception. Now, going into the film, seeing the trailer, I was very interested with, especially with Emma Stone, with Jesse Plemons. You have two actors just killing it right now. Both, I know Emma Stone recently got her Oscar with this same director with the film Poor Things, and Jesse Plemons. I feel like Jesse Plemons is almost like the second coming of Philip Seymour Hoffman. He's just fantastic in how he delivers his performances. He's so stoic. He's so serious. Yet he can be like comically serious, and it's very neat how he approaches his way to performances. So essentially, the film is about two cousins who plan to kidnap this kind of mogul, this super popular slash famous woman in Emma Stone's character. As we're following them, it's funny. This film almost kind of puts them as a protagonist when the trailer almost pits it as Emma Stone is the protagonist, but it's really interesting. The film mainly follows them. And as you are going throughout the film, it's essentially a battle between Plemons and Emma Stone. They're kind of just going back and forth. I think overall, this film is a great, almost like knockout ring kind of set up with them too. I mean, like I said before, you have two super popular actors at their top right now, just doing the work. They are just crushing it. This film also stars this new actor. I think this is his first role. His name is Aidan Delbus. He's the one in this photo right there next to Jesse Plemons. He plays his cousin, and his role is kind of interesting. He doesn't talk too much, but he kind of acts as like this tie to Emma Stone's character. Like he can kind of connect to her in a way, and it's very interesting. And now, of course, this film talks about the extraterrestrial, which I won't dive into too much of that because I won't go into spoilers. But the way this film talks about aliens and what they show, it's very, very interesting. I will say that. I will say for most of the film, about 70% of the film, I thought it was really, really solid. Like there wasn't anything that I can connect to. There wasn't anything that I was necessarily super excited for, except the performances. Like that's always great. But as the story kind of goes along, for like I said, about like 3/4 of the film, like it's good. But when the film really kicks into overdrive, is the last half. It is insanity what happens. And like I said, I won't go into it, but it's really fun, especially between Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone and all the happenings that happen between them. It's just wild and it's a lot of fun. Now, whenever I get into a film, whenever I kind of review a film, I want to take it in two ways. One, how did I feel about it? What emotional reaction did it give me? And also, what was my experience with it? I feel like films are like experiential, emotional experiential vessels that are for us that we can interpret however which way we want it to. You could like it, you dislike it. That's what's great about opinions. And for me, how I felt about this film, I don't really know. I think overall it was just this interesting setup with these characters and how I kind of felt about it. I didn't really get a visceral reaction until, of course, the very end. But if I had to kind of talk about it overall, I'm just kind of so so. Um, did it give me any emotional feeling? Not necessarily. I think there are some pretty shocking things that happen that evoke a reaction that evoked a reaction out of me, which is fun. But overall, I'd say it was a real solid film. I definitely recommend it, especially for what happens in the back half. It's super exciting. David, was there anything that stood out to you if you've seen it or if you just saw the trailer? Let me know.
Yeah, I haven't seen this. I just watched the trailer, and within the first 25 seconds, I was ready to go watch this movie. It
Yeah,
looks really interesting. Premise is, I think a lot of people can relate to it because conspiracy theories are very popular, and
absolutely.
some of them legitimate. Some of them, most of them, are not legitimate, not based in reality. And when you hear about the premise of this movie, you think, wow, that's one of those. I'm still intrigued because it is a very interesting premise. Jesse Plemons is thin again. And, last time he was thin was Breaking Bad. I don't know if he was
Right.
thin before then. He stole the show in Civil War for me.
Oh my god.
Like he had such
Don't get me
a
started on Civil War.
he had such a
It's so
brief
good.
role, but he stole the movie. Like
He did.
complete when he was on screen and what he did, fantastic.
Absolutely.
And I noticed he looks a lot younger when he's thin. like he lost about 10 years um, when he's thin because I'm like, man, he looks a lot younger than when he did in Civil War. So I've heard a lot of good things. I've heard some good reviews from people online about this movie. And you said you really liked it. How long is the movie?
I think it was I can't actually remember, but, like, in terms of the feeling the movie, because usually you can kinda feel a runtime of a film. It does feel a little long, just a little bit,
Okay.
but, yeah, I don't remember. I wanna say it was around 2 hours, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
But,
All right.
again, yeah, it felt like a substantial amount.
I think if I can get to the theater, great. But I think I'm definitely gonna watch this.
Yeah, I also wanted to touch on Stavros Halkios, the comedian, which I'm not too familiar with his work, but his role in this film is it's kind of brief, but he does impact it in an interesting way. There's some really neat backstory between his character. He plays a police officer, and his character and Jesse Plemons' character. Apparently, he was the babysitter of him at one point, and there were some interesting things that happened with that storyline. So it was cool to see him in a role because I don't know if he's acted really much. I think I was looking at his IMDb and he's been in some stuff, but he's not really known for being an actor. He's mainly just the comedian doing podcasts and stuff. So it was cool to see him in this. I would definitely like to see him in more things. Another thing I wanted to touch on was the cinematography. As someone who wants to make films, I'd say the one thing I love the most is the cinematography and how something is shot and framed. And this film is super intentional in what it wants to show. There's a lot of dialogue scenes that are shot in a very specific way where it's like it's not traditional and it's a little uneasy. There's definitely a lot of like low angle shots looking up at Jesse Plemons and looking up at Emma Stone as they're just talking back and forth. And it's really interesting. It's almost unsettling in some ways. There's definitely some shots that are like purposely shot in an unsettling way. And then they'll say, for example, shoot like a house. There'll be like almost like a house on a prairie kind of thing. There'll be a super wide shot. And they'll kind of zoom in slowly, and they're super intentional with the film work in this, so that's always great to see. Music also was super intentional. There's a lot of great moments and surprising moments where they put music in. I'd say for most of the film, you don't really hear much, but you don't really hear much in terms of music. But there are moments that they specifically put it right here. It's like, oh shit, oh wow, and it's pretty jarring. But I think that's by design. So that's our talk on Begonia. If you've seen it, anyone out there watching us, let us know in the comments what you thought of it. I would love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to have a conversation. With that down, let's move on to this. Welcome to Derry. Yes, the new HBO series about the It franchise, a prequel
About Dairy Queen.
about. Oh, okay.
Welcome to Dairy Queen.
Welcome to Dairy Queen. Oh, I'm so keeping that in. I love that. Okay. Welcome to Derry. So, as the time of this recording, we're recording this on Saturday, the 1st of November. Now, they dropped episode 2 yesterday on Halloween, which is very fitting. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get to see episode 2. I was a little busy seeing Bugonia and other stuff. So, we'll just talk about episode 1 and kind of our thoughts on the show and kind of what it can do for horror moving forward. Because I think what's been great about this year is that it's been a wonderful year for horror. I know me and David, we saw Weapons a few months ago. It was like my second time seeing it in the theaters, and I think horror, especially this year, is crushing it. Film after film, I still need to see the film Together, which is with James Franco and Alison Brie. It seems like a really neat body horror almost type of film. Alien show, Alien Earth, which I love. For some reason, it gets a lot of flack near the end, which I can understand. But overall, I thought first season, was really great. There was other films, other horror. I mean, it's just been a great year for horror. Also, Companion, even though I wouldn't consider that a horror, but it's kind of in the genre a little bit. We'll talk about Companion a little later, but I think as far as Welcome to Derry goes, I think it just can continue what a lot of people would seem like have been yearning for, which is more horror, but horror that's more enticing and has something to say. Like, I think there's been a lot of horror films out there that just hasn't had a real voice and doesn't really talk about certain things. But it seems like Alien Earth was almost, it was very introspective with how we think of humanity and AI and all that stuff. And it seems like with Welcome to Derry, we're just dealing with not stuff like that, but in a different way, where they're just tying to bigger themes potentially and really insane gore pieces and just just great Halloween or horror gore. And I think a lot of people yearn for that, and it's definitely very fun. I think episode 1 was a great reminder that this show is a horror show at its core, and it's just going to be really wild, and we're gonna have a great time. I think what this show did, kind of comparing it back to it, is bringing these kids into it, bringing that nostalgic atmosphere of it being a kid, always kind of just wondering what's really going on, questioning things, and just trying to figure things out. And as we grow up, we're still trying to figure things out. So it's very relatable in that sense. Episode 1 just does a great job at throwing you into that nostalgic atmosphere of being a kid, but also being a kid, you're also very frightful. You're very terrified of a lot of things. I know I was. I was terrified of a lot of things as a kid. It was hard for me to watch horror movies for years. And so I'm finally into it. And I love that I'm into it. I think this show is just a great example of bringing us back to horror, just getting us excited for it. David, do you have any comments about Welcome to Derry if you've seen it?
So I have not seen it, and
Right.
that might be a theme on this show that I have not seen the things that Brandon
That's
has seen.
perfectly fine. All you got to do is just,
So
let us
here's
know
the
what you
thing.
think.
Streaming services can get pricey, and we have had HBO Max at a time, and we're going to have it again. And, my wife, we really love I Think You Should Leave on Netflix. She loves comedy. And Tim Robinson, who is the writer and star of that, is in a new show on HBO Max called The Chair Company. So once that ends, and honestly, once Welcome to Derry kind of ends, we're going to get HBO Max, and I'm going to see this. I read the book, It. Did you read the book?
So I got the audiobook and I listened to like the first page and I was like, I don't know. I got it for a plane ride and I was gonna listen to it on the flight, but I just couldn't really get into
It's
it.
it is a long book.
Yeah.
I actually I will clarify. I did not read it. I listened to the audiobook. It is long. It's like 24 hours. It is a long audiobook. And there's some strange stuff. I don't know if you know some of the stuff that happens in the book.
I don't.
Well, it's okay that you don't, because it is very disturbing, much more disturbing than the movie.
Mm.
I didn't see It Part 2. I saw the first It. I liked that a lot. I heard It Part 2 was not good.
I
And
will say, yeah, it chapter 2, it just didn't hit as hard as chapter 1, just because I think they definitely lost the atmosphere of being a kid, and they do moments of that in part 2 where they kind of flash back to the kids, but it's mainly with the adults, and it just loses, I don't know, that sense of nostalgia with being a
Mhm.
kid. I don't know, it's very, very interesting.
Yeah,
And I also thought it was a little too long. There was just a moment where I'm like, I'm just checking out of this. It just wasn't really hitting me.
that's understandable because of the nature of the medium, movies, right? And it
Yeah,
worked as the kids, it worked better there. And in the medium of a book, you can flip flop between chapters. You can't do that with a movie. You can kind of do it, maybe more so with the show.
absolutely. I think that's an excellent point. They could totally do that.
Yeah, so I think this is really cool, expanding the It universe. I love kind of the premise of it. I think it's cool that they're expanding it. Is very disturbing, dark, and scary, in my opinion. So I
Yes, I'm all
think,
for that.
yes, I'm really excited to eventually get to watching this.
Yeah, I'm excited to
Uh,
hear your thoughts. Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be really fun to chat about this.
absolutely. I think, if it had two great weeks, hopefully that continues. How many episodes are there for the season?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I want to say, I mean, well, it sucks because the usual episode season length is like 8 nowadays, sometimes even 6. And we used to live in an age where there's like 18 to 21 episodes a season for television. I mean, how
I
how
know.
much was Lost? Lost is like what, 20? Like,
Yeah. It's interesting though, because it looks like there's 9 episodes. It looks like there's 9.
okay,
Yep.
I'll take it.
Yeah, it looks like there's 9, and I would agree that, like, there used to be a ton more episodes for shows. I think for shows on kind of like mainstream television, NBC, CBS, ABC, there are still a lot of episodes because they've almost productized the show.
Hmm.
They have a formula. And they just kind of stick to that. Think about shows like Psych or House. There's a very specific formula with the shows. So it was
Right.
very easy to and cost effective to like plug and play. But now with streaming, the shows are movies. They're movies at on streaming services that are just an hour long. They have
Yeah.
movie style budgets in some cases. They have large productions. I guess probably maybe the exception would be like a Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones still had a
Mhm.
lot of episodes. It had 10
It
episodes a
Yeah.
season, right?
I mean, yeah, 10, yeah. I mean, I still wouldn't consider that a lot, but definitely a little more than the usual right now. So at least that's a positive.
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
My apologies for tangenting.
No, with that is welcome. We love them Chan Jones.
We love them
So
tangents. So I would say I'm excited to see Welcome to Derry,
yes,
expand the universe.
absolutely.
I think it's gonna be really good.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear your thoughts whenever we talk about this in the future. Yeah, I wanted to touch on the ending a little bit of this first episode, just like we were talking about Invincible last week. This ending is interesting as well. That's all I'll say.
Ooh,
So
okay. All right. All
I'd
right.
say
I may have to pick HBO Max up now sooner
you might
based on what
have
you
to,
just said.
brother. You might have to.
Okay.
Okay. That's
All
us signing
right.
out. Welcome to Derry. Can't wait for the next episode. We'll chat about that soon. With that down, let's move on to this, which is my top picks to see in the month of November. There's a lot of great films coming this month, and it's crazy. We're almost at the end of this year. It's crazy how time flies. But here we are again in pretty much winter movie season. November and December are super exciting. We got a lot of great stuff coming, starting with one of my most anticipated films of the year, which is Predator Badlands. That opens next week, next Thursday. And Predator, I mean, it's been such a wonderful time to be a Predator fan, to be an Aliens fan. They are bringing us some of the best Predator content. I mean, we just had Predator Killer of Killers, which is the animated film. It was.
Sorry.
Yeah, what's up?
What you said there, out of context, someone's going to clip that, what you just said. We've been getting the best Predator content.
That's the only way to word that.
We're cooked. Did you also say it's a great time to be a Predator fan?
It's the only way to say it, though.
I know, but we're so cooked.
If you're a big Predator fan, or you're probably gonna love this. So, Predator Badlands, yes, opening next week. Again, I'm super excited. It's just been a great time to be a fan of this franchise. Disney is giving us Disney / 20th Century Studios. They're giving us some of the best content within this franchise. With Predator Killer of Killers, we got Prey, I think I want to say 2 years ago, which they're also doing a double feature with Prey. It's the first time Prey has been in theaters because it was originally just dropped on streaming. And I would love to see it. I would love to see it in theaters. Prey was amazing. David, have you seen Prey?
Yes, I have seen Prey.
It is, when I saw it at home, I was like, man, I wish I could see this on the big screen. It was so much fun, especially like I vividly remember our lead protagonist. She's like stuck under a bunch of what was it? Kind of like tree branches, and she's hiding from like a black bear. And as she kind of gets out of it, she sees the bear, and then all of a sudden, like the predator comes up behind it. I could be remembering wrong, but it was something like that. It's just like that would have been so epic to see on the big screen. That would have just been so cool. So again, with Prey, with Killer of Killers, they're just bringing nonstop great content within this franchise. And with Predator Badlands, we've been getting just amazing trailers, giving us a sense that this is our first time having a predator as the protagonist. And also going to be accompanying him is a Weyland-Yutani synthetic, which Elle Fanning is going to be playing, which is ties into Aliens. So who knows if we can get more ties? I'm sure we have an Alien vs Predator movie on the horizon. It's coming very soon. I'm super excited about that. I'm sure a lot of people are. So Predator Badlands coming soon. Cannot wait for that. Next, the week after that, we have The Running Man, which is based on the book, but is not any way related to the previous film with Arnold Schwarzenegger. They are two completely different films. Both were taken from the book, but this new film with Glenn Powell, which I love Glenn Powell. He was in Top Gun Maverick. He was in he's just been in a lot of great things recently, and he's just showcasing his just prowess as being an actor. He's got great presence on screen. He's really funny. He could do action. He could do serious moments when it counts, and he's just a great performer to see on screen. And this is coming from director Edgar Wright, who has created some of just the most fun, energetic films. Like I love Baby Driver. David, have you seen Baby Driver by chance?
I have seen Baby Driver.
Dude, it's so good. It's so fun. It's energetic. There's just like a great story behind it too. With this kid, he's just trying to do better, even though he gets caught up in a lot of deep, rough stuff. But he's trying to do better. He's trying to make some money. But Baby Driver, love that film. Edgar Wright did Scott Pilgrim. I love Scott Pilgrim. David, have you seen Scott Pilgrim?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, honestly, I don't know if it'd be well, actually, I think it would be a film you'd like because it does kind of almost have anime-ish ties to it, just in terms of its like CG, just the way they produce some of the graphics. It's super unique. It's pretty much like a cartoon in the real world in certain aspects. It's very, very fun. And speaking of Scott Pilgrim, that's with Michael Cera, which Michael Cera is in The Running Man as well, and he looks like he's going to have a really funny role. So you have that tie with Edgar Wright and Michael Cera. And overall, I mean, this film just looks like a really fun time. I think it's just going to be a good popcorn flick. I think there is going to be some kind of maybe a deep meaning to it in some ways. I know he's kind of our main character with Glenn Powell. He's going to be trying to win this competition to get his family out of poverty and just really create a better life for him. So I'm sure there is going to be some deeper meaning, but I think at its core, this film is just going to be a great popcorn flick. So that's The Running Man. The week after Running Man, we have some a little big, just Wicked. Yeah, a little big.
Wicked.
Wicked for Good, which I wouldn't say I'm super excited to see this. I'm very interested in seeing it. I think solely because of the way it's made, the cinematography, the production. The production design is crazy. I remember in the first film they bought like a billion flowers or something like that and actually planted, or I don't know if they actually planted them, but probably there was just a field of legit flowers which they could have just made in some sort of engine and just called it a day. But no, they took the time to really create a physical environment, which is so important. I think it's always good to tie computer generated stuff with the actual things. I think that's what just makes it a little more richer instead of choosing one over the other. But Wicked, I'm really looking forward to this in terms of how it's made. I will say the standout for me in part one was Ariana Grande. She was just a fantastic time to watch. She was just so much fun. She was hilarious. She definitely brought it. I was curious if I don't remember if she was nominated for an Oscar. I think she was. If not, she definitely deserved it. And apparently for the second film, we're going to get probably some more Oscar nominations, probably some Oscar wins. I'm sure we will. But yeah, and we'll definitely get into Wicked a little later. So we have a topic about that coming up. David, you've seen Wicked, right? Seen the first one?
Yes, I did see the first one, was absolutely blown away. I was never really into musicals really at all until I met my wife. My wife did that for me, got me into musicals. I love seeing shows now. And I would listen to, there's actually a pop punk version of Defying Gravity,
Okay.
which is actually really good. I think it's by Matt Copley.
Okay.
If you look that up on Spotify, I would listen to that just like for fun. And I knew where the song was from, but seeing the movie again, like you said, we'll get into it. We will get into it.
We will get into it.
We will get into it. But I'm just gonna say I'm excited.
Okay. Let's move on to our next film, which is Rental Family. Now, this is Brendan Fraser, kind of coming off of his Oscar win with the what was that film
The
called?
Whale.
The Whale. Yep, you got it. The Whale, which
He's
I
massive.
loved. Did you see The Whale?
I did not see The Whale. I just
Okay.
remember how massive Brendan Fraser was.
He was pretty massive. And Sadie Sink was in it as well from Stranger Things. She was
Oh,
great. Yeah, yeah.
okay.
She plays his daughter, and she does, I think, some of the best acting that I've seen her do. So she was fantastic in that. But Brendan Fraser coming back, and this film just feels like it's going to be very touching, and this could easily get Brendan Fraser his next Oscar nom, most likely. It just seems like a very touching film that just deals with family, and as it is set in, I want to say Japan, where they do offer a service that you can rent a family. That's a legit thing, and
It's
this
like a
film,
legit thing in.
it's a legit thing, yeah.
Wait, what?
Yes, you can rent a girlfriend. You can rent anything. I want to say
Okay,
maybe not
so
anything, but
I'm just having quick thoughts
yeah,
here.
yeah. What's up?
So that's so interesting that Japan actually has this. I I was shocked, but thinking about it for a little bit more, I understand why, and I understand that this will be coming to the States. Particularly,
Really?
I think so, because as we get more disconnected from real life, unfortunately, there will be a swing back to real, genuine experiences and connections that people will pay for legitimately. So there's a business influencer who talks about this exact thing. Do you know who Gary Vee is?
Yeah, the name sounds familiar, but I'm not too familiar with them.
So he talks a lot about he's from New York. He talks a lot about flipping things on like Facebook Marketplace and going to garage sales and flipping stuff. That's
Okay.
like he talks a lot about that. He also has a huge marketing media company, but his like one thing he was talking about in a podcast was you could probably go right now on Facebook Marketplace and just post like I'll walk with you and like you charge like an hour, like charge like $50 for like an hour walk or something.
Yeah,
Just to like talk to someone.
right.
You could
There's a sense
probably
about it that feels like almost like therapeutic in a way.
yes. I know of a service, I just remembered this, called Rent a Friend. It was like a really old website, but it was designed to have someone to go to like a concert with if you didn't have someone, but you had a ticket.
Interesting.
And that person got to go for free. So like that person didn't necessarily get paid. But Gary Vee was saying you could go on Facebook Marketplace right now, post, I'll walk with you for $50 for an hour in any city, the city that you're closest in.
Mhm.
And he says people will probably pay for that, which is
Wow.
so interesting because like that seems crazy. When I think about it, I can understand why. There's a lot of people who are very disconnected right now. There's a lot of adults, young adults, probably our age, maybe even younger, who don't quite know how to make friends. It's kind of difficult. And they've been on a screen for a long time. During COVID, they were on a screen. So it would make sense why they would pay for something like this. And I'm interested to see if that would. It's really interesting to hear you say that it's actually a legitimate thing, a whole family
Yeah.
for that's in Japan. And I think it's only a matter of time until it comes to the States.
Yeah. So that is Rental Family. Very excited to see. Seems like it's going to be a touching story. Brendan Fraser might get his next Oscar. We'll see. I'm very excited to see. And finally, the last film we got is Eternity. Again, seems like a very interesting concept. We have the idea of the afterlife. All these people in this poster right here that we're seeing, they have passed in this film and they're in some sort of afterlife. And our lead character, played by Elizabeth Olsen, has to choose which suitor she wants to take with her into eternity and live with in eternity. Either her most recent husband, which is on the right, Miles Teller, who also died at the same time she did, I want to say. Then we also have her first husband on the left, played by Callum Turner, who was, I want to say he was in the war and he died in the war. So she has to choose which one she's going to spend eternity with. And I think the trailer does a great job at just showing you, which route she can go down. And it seems like it's going to be a very nice film and just introspective on how you want to spend your life and who you want to spend your life with. I don't know. In a way, the film almost kind of feels like a warm blanket in how the trailer was portrayed. It doesn't feel like it's going to get super heated, which I'm sure it will, but it just seems like it's going to be a very nice film talking about some deep stuff. Very curious to see how that shakes out. David, have you seen the trailer? What do you think?
So I saw 20 seconds of the trailer and I stopped because I want to see it. It looks really good. I didn't know a lot of what you had said about the premise
Okay.
because I watched the 20 seconds of the trailer and I was intrigued enough by the set and by the premise to think, okay, this is probably going to be really interesting and I'd like to see it. Now you say it's romance. I can watch it with my wife now.
Absolutely. This is
She is going to
totally a date night kind of movie.
she's going to love it.
Yes, absolutely. That is the month of November. Lots of great stuff coming. We will be talking about all of it. I'll probably be posting some out of the theater reactions for all of them. I mean, I'm gonna see how that goes. You guys, let me know what you think. If you like them, if they work, if they suck, let me know if they suck. Please, I want to know. So we'll see how that shakes down. November, lots of great stuff coming. All right. let's move on to this. We were talking about Guillermo Del Toro on AI, specifically talking about the film Frankenstein, which he just made. And it was just released in theaters actually, but only for a short amount of time. Again, like Netflix, at least they're testing the waters. At least we're seeing them try things with releasing in theaters. So I will say I'm definitely happy that it was in theaters for at least a little bit and not in theaters. Better than not in theaters at all. I know soon it's coming to streaming. I'm very excited to see it. David, have you been interested in anything with Frankenstein? Have you seen any marketing for that?
I haven't seen it, but I did read the book.
You did. Are you excited to see Frankenstein? You curious about it?
I'm really curious. Is this Frankenstein based off of the book?
Whew, good question. I should probably know, but I don't know. I would
Okay.
assume I would assume it is. Uh, which it is interesting because we also have a film coming out early next year, which is called The Bride, directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal, um, and that deals with Frankenstein. It looks very interesting. So we have a lot of Frankenstein coming up. A lot of pretty cool stuff. Now, particularly with Guillermo del Toro, we're talking about AI here, and AI is a very it's a nice topic, isn't it? We love talking about it. um, it is a very polarizing topic for sure. Now, I wanted to talk about this specific article, which was done by Entertainment Weekly. They talk about what Guillermo del Toro said on a podcast, which is NPR's Fresh Air podcast. So he writes, AI, particularly generative AI, I'm not interested, nor will I ever be interested, he told Fresh Air. I'm 61 and I hope to be able to remain uninterested in using it at all until I croak. So he clearly hates AI. And then I remember there's the what was it? I think some sort of footage where I think it was at the premiere or some sort of screening for Frankenstein, and he just says FAI, and that got a lot of buzz. So he
Hmm.
clearly is spearheading the train for no AI, and he just doesn't want it. So we're gonna dive into the topic. I think it is AI. Like I said, it's a very polarizing topic. I think as someone who wants to make films, I will say, and someone who's working in photography and video editing, AI is super helpful in a lot of ways. And just like anything, like AI is a tool, and I think no, in how you use that tool is can be used for good and can be used for bad, or can be used for something that just doesn't work. And AI in itself, I believe, like I said, can be used as a tool. And for someone who's worked in photography in terms of getting rid of certain aspects in an image at the click of a button, it saves so much time. AI saves a lot of time, and time is money. And we want time to do other stuff. We want time to live. We want time. Time is one of the most precious commodities in how we live. And I believe with AI being a tool, it can help save a lot of time with video editing, with filmmaking, with photography, with a lot of different things. And just how you use it, that's up to you. David, let me know what you think about AI.
Yeah, so AI is already very powerful. I mean, 10 months ago, we did not have the deep research function in any of the models,
Yeah.
which is crazy to think about that it was only 10 months ago that we didn't have deep research.
Well,
But now,
I want to say, I remember the first time you told me about AI, which was with ChatGPT. I want to say it was like 2021, and we were sitting at the mall and we're just chatting, and you're like, "Yeah, you got this ChatGPT, and it just wrote a script for me." I'm like, "What?" Like it just turns out a script, and I was shocked. So
yeah, so Guillermo is being, sorry,
no, you're good. Yeah.
Is that how you say his name?
Guillermo del Toro. Yeah.
Guillermo Del Toro is being very specific on the type of AI, and it's generative. So you give it a prompt and it produces content. It produces an image, maybe writing. I guess writing would fall into that category, or videos. AI can be extremely helpful for process, like you talked about. Things like video editing. There are tools right now that we will use after this video to produce shorts in a fraction of the time.
Saves so much time.
It saves so much time as long as it doesn't destroy the creative process. Like you talked about a tool where artificial intelligence can fulfill the creative vision that you had by removing something from a photograph. That's your creative vision that AI is just the tool for. Generative AI is specifically with images and videos is artificial intelligence where you're leaving the AI to be creative, which it can't really do. Now I'm confused about this. I'm conflicted. But what I was going to say is I don't think AI in our lifetime, but maybe, will surpass humans in terms of creative content, because AI models have to be trained on the human content. And if there isn't human content, then AI is just training off itself. So without human feedback, there's nothing for the AI to train on. So the human element has to be there. Otherwise, AI is useless, essentially. Unless you give it tools, it can't create something that is going to be better than the human mind, in my opinion. Now, this could change. It's really complicated. There's a lot of moral questions with AI that are kind of being discussed right now, and it's kind of scary what
Right.
artificial intelligence is capable of. And Guillermo is right to be like, screw it, because I mean, it would take his job, but also platforms are already taking measures to kind of disrupt AI generated content on their platforms. YouTube, I know, has taken steps in some areas to disrupt certain kinds of AI videos. Some, some videos not so much. I think Instagram kind of has a little bit, but it's getting kind of scary now. The realism in AI videos, when Sora 2 dropped, there was a ton of AI videos that fooled me. I'm still getting fooled by Sora videos. Mainly
What
if it
is
doesn't have.
Sora? Is that
So
a yeah?
Sora 2's OpenAI's video and image generation like machine, essentially.
Okay.
So there was Sora 1, which was just videos, and which was just images, and the videos were kind of meh. Google a few months ago came out with a VO3, which kind of exploded the AI video race because it was so incredible what you could create with a prompt, a text prompt.
Okay.
And then Sora 2 just came out, and there's videos of Jake Paul like putting on makeup, and it fooled a lot of people. It looks so real.
hmm
And but I still don't think in terms of filmmaking you're gonna get something better than a human. It's not there yet. I don't know if it ever will be there, because again, it has to be trained off human content.
Right.
AI can't be trained off AI content because there's no human feedback.
Yeah, I think you brought up an excellent point with is the humanity of it. And AI will at least I think AI will never have the ability to have just the heart that we give to scripts, the heart that we give to our photos, the heart that we give to art, the heart for art is just not there with AI. Even though it could train off us, it still won't be us. And
Exactly.
that's the real takeaway from this. And to see Guillermo spearheading that and just going with his gut and showing his heart through his work, it's very cool to see. And he's definitely not using it.
Guillermo's a baller for saying it. I think he's right. I think a lot of people in Hollywood, a lot of directors are not going to use it. It's right now. It's a lot more of an advertisement, graphic design
Yeah.
sort of niche thing that can work in certain scenarios. And I don't think it'll be made for movies
hmm
anytime soon. I
Right.
could be wrong though.
We'll see.
We'll
All right,
see.
guys. Let us know what you think about AI. I'm sure it won't get spicy in the comments, but we'll see.
Spicy.
All right. With that down, let's move on to this. Mr. Jack Quaid. But first, specifically, we'll be talking about Companion, which I recommended David to see this. I saw it earlier this year. So every year, I make my own top 10 films. And to make one of those spots, you have to be memorable. You have to have some emotional grip on me. And this film was that. I want to say this film came out around February, and it was just one of those films that started off the year with a bang. Like, especially going into this film, everyone kept saying go into it knowing nothing at all, which I still try and do that with every film, which just gives you better surprises and to expect the unexpected. And this film definitely gave you the unexpected if you did not see any trailers. So, we were talking about Companion. David, you just saw it. What do you think?
I liked it. I liked it.
Okay.
I also recommend not seeing any trailers, not looking anything up, not looking a premise up. Just go and watch it. It's short. It's like an hour and 35 minutes long. It has some great hits, some funny moments, some moments of like, I don't quite know what's happening. The performances are stellar. Go watch it. Don't look anything up, and just enjoy a solid movie with some great performances, some great cinematography, and some cool set design, and funny, kind of dark. It's kind of like a dark comedy,
Yes.
and I it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think I want to say seeing with Sophie Thatcher, that's the main protagonist of this film, and she brings it. She definitely has something about her on screen that's like inviting. Like you really want to know what's going on with her, as she is clearly like loves the character that Jack Wade's playing. She loves him deeply, and she's surrounded by all these characters, and some of them don't like her, and she's getting just weird reactions. It's like, what is going on? What is really going on? As the film goes on, you're like, oh, that's why this is happening. I was just rewatching it recently, and it's like you could pick up on things that make sense early on. And it's like, oh, okay, this character was acting this way to her because of what you find out later. And there were some moments in this film that tie back it weirdly to some 80s films, like especially with Terminator. There's a really neat scene towards the end that feels super T2 esque. It's very fun. The overall feel of this film, like David said, you get like a dark humor aesthetic to it, and it's romantic in ways. There's you definitely it's like a romantic dark comedy. And I know this film was kind of categorized underneath the horror genre, which a lot of people do, and I don't really consider this a horror. It's more so like a thriller, dark humor, romantic film. I think any film that has a bunch of genres like that tied to it really just create a well balanced meal, if that makes sense.
That makes
And
sense.
right, yeah. So this film definitely brought it for me. I think kind of going into our title here, the year of Jack Quaid. This was his first film this year, and he brought it. I know he was in one of the recent Scream films. This might be a spoiler, so if you haven't seen recent Scream, just let me know, or just be wary of this. But I think he was one of the killers. So I want to say he brought probably a dark aesthetic to his character in that film. And then in this film, he brings that same dark demeanor as well. And it's very interesting to see because with Jack Quaid, he's kind of like a bubbly guy, and he's kind of like almost like dumb to dumb to dumb, like in a way. He's just kind of that bubbly guy that's
Dum de
almost
dum de dum.
right. Yeah, I mean, like especially like since David, I introduced you to The Boys and how he acts in The Boys. He's just very timid, and he's got that boyish charm. So to see him in a film like this is very refreshing, and to see that he can perform like that was awesome. So again, 2025, the year of Jack Quaid. So we were getting into so he had Companion, which came out early. Next film was Novocaine. Then after that was Neighborhood Watch, and then after that was Heads of State, which he didn't play a big role in it, but he was in it. So with Companion, that currently has a 93% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes and an 89% audience. That's really solid. I mean, in the 90s for critics, that's fantastic. So I love seeing that for a film like this. For Novocaine, which I recommend seeing, David, maybe you'll see that one day, but it's
Okay.
just a great action film with him as he plays this character that doesn't feel pain, but he's trying to save this girl that he just met. And again, he kind of plays more of the Jack Quaid character in that film. This bubbly guy, he's got that boyish charm. That film has an 80% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes with an 84% audience. Again, real solid numbers. Next film was Neighborhood Watch, with he did with Jeffrey Dean Morgan. That one I didn't see. I saw the trailer. It didn't look really that interesting, but apparently, critics and audience seem to like it. That 70% critics, 70% audience, they're matched on that, which is very interesting. So it sounds like it was a solid film, but it didn't interest me too much. But it was cool again to see him in another film. And then he was also in Heads of State, which is with John Cena and Idris Elba. That film has a 68% critic score and a 70% audience rating. So again, solid numbers. I wasn't too interested in Heads of State. It just seemed like a kind of like maybe like a fun popcorn flick. I know it wasn't. I'm pretty sure it wasn't released in theaters. That one was just dumped on Amazon. I mean, those films that they just dump on streaming, they're usually not good. Usually, Netflix is known for that. They have like hundreds of millions of bad movies, and then they have a few that are fantastic.
K-pop
So,
Demon Hunters.
hey, there you go. That's the outlier. They just dropped that in theaters again this weekend,
Yes.
and
Yes.
dude, it's going gangbusters. I'm thinking
Go.
about seeing it. We'll see.
You should see K-pop Demon
Should
Hunters.
I? So I'm,
Yes.
I'm assuming you saw it.
Yes, I did see it. If you go, alone, maybe don't watch it in theaters
Okay.
without going with
Well,
someone.
well, because it's the sing along too, and
Right.
I feel like I would like my head would pop off. I don't know what I would do. There's
Yeah,
just a
so
bunch of kids
you'll be
screaming.
with a bunch of singing people who have seen the movie before. So
Yeah.
I mean, Kiara and I watched it on streaming. It was phenomenal, like
Okay.
really good. Didn't think a movie K-pop Demon Hunters was going to be something that I enjoyed, but it was good.
Good. Good to know. I will definitely check it out. So yeah, 2025. It's really cool to say. I think Jack Quaid is a great performer. I think he's only going to get better. He just has that kind of boyish charm that's inviting. Yet he does a film like Companion, or I mean, from what I saw the trailer of Neighborhood Watch, like he plays serious roles whenever he wants to, and he's able to bring it. And I think he's doing a good job right now, and can't wait to see where he goes. With that down, we have our last topic of the day, which we are talking about Wicked for Good, the preview on what to expect. We got it coming soon. I stated earlier, Wicked is definitely not for me. It's just the style of it doesn't attract me too much, except the production, and especially in this shot right here. I think that shot looks beautiful, just showing the wizard and then the four of them right there. I mean, it just looks awesome. So, David, going into Wicked for Good, what are you thinking?
I'm so excited for this. Last year when we saw Wicked, I just had my son. He was like 3 weeks old,
Yeah.
and my wife was. This was the first time we had set our son aside with someone else, and the first time that my wife had not been with our son was for Wicked, for this specific movie, because it was so hyped. She's a massive musical fan. She did theater, in high school, and she was extremely excited for this. And I was not as excited as she is. I'm not a huge musical person. I have grown to love musicals because of my wife, but she dragged me to. She didn't drag me, but I went to it with her after she had seen it once, and man, it was unbelievable.
Okay. Love
It
that.
deserved all the hype that it got. The production and the visuals, stunning. It's my favorite movie last year by
Was it?
far.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. The production, the visuals, just fantastic. Like we talked about earlier, they planted all those flowers. The train was real. And then the performances, acting wise, were phenomenal from Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. The
Absolutely.
chemistry they had and the juxtaposition was great. And obviously, what needs to happen for a movie like this is the numbers. The numbers have to hit, and baby, they did. They were just phenomenal, banger after banger of a song. Cynthia Erivo just was showcasing all the pipes that she has, just beautiful music, and I think they made some creative decisions for the final number, Defying Gravity, that were far different than the show, the Broadway show. Some people didn't like that. And it was kind of interesting to see that reaction, because I know a lot of people like the final number, and I think the only reason why they made the creative decision they made is because it was a movie and because they had the ability to do that. On a
Mhm.
Broadway show, it's much different. And so, because of the medium, they were able to make some different creative decisions that would not have fit a Broadway number, I think, at all. But with the movie, I think it worked. I
Okay.
know some hardcore Broadway fans didn't like the decisions they made at the end. I understand that. Visuals and the medium of the movie was so good. I didn't really feel the runtime on the last one.
Okay.
Some
I
people
did.
did. Yeah, okay. Some people did. I
Yeah.
didn't feel it. For me, I didn't really feel it too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, I think that comes down to just your experience of it. Like if you're like invested in a film, like it's funny. Usually for me, whenever if it's a brand new film that I'm going into, like there's usually a moment throughout a film if I'll like sit back and do this. That's like when I'm in, and there wasn't really a moment of that for me with this film.
Yeah, and Wicked for Good, the finale to it, part two. It's so I'm so hyped for it because I have such high expectations of the first one. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see this.
Okay, that's awesome. I love that you're super excited for it. Again, it's definitely not a film for me, but I can definitely appreciate it. I know a lot of people have just a deep love for the characters, for the Broadway show. It's definitely going to garner an audience. I know it's well, I'm very curious to see the box office numbers on this. I know first reactions have came out already, and they're glowing. I'm pretty sure they're calling for both Ariana and Cynthia for Oscar noms. I'm sure production design and all that is going to be nominated. It just seems like it's going to get the complete Oscar treatment, and I'm super excited to check it out. All right, guys. With that down, we are done with our second episode of the Rich Salad Show. Let us know what you guys think. Again, we're super new to this, still working with StreamYard. I feel like I got a bit of a better handle on it for today. And I think we've been really enjoying it. I know me and David have always wanted to do something like this, especially something within film. I'm glad we're still chucking along, and we're just going to keep learning. You guys let us know what you think. Very curious to hear feedback. Any feedback is welcome. David, what do you think? How do you think we did today?
Think we did lovely. I really enjoyed spending some quality time with my brother, talking about some amazing,
Indeed.
movies and film that we're looking forward to, that we've seen, and I'm super excited to keep doing this. Episode
Absolutely.
3 next week. Let's go.
Episode 3 next week. I'll be talking about Predator Badlands. Be out of theater reaction for sure for that. Super hyped.
I think I need to go see that.
Yeah, you
I
guys
think I
do.
gotta. I gotta bite the
I mean,
the movie theater budget bullet here. I need to go see it.
I know first reactions were really good. It's gonna be fun. Excited for that. All right, guys. That down. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you next time.